anytime you're starting in any marriage, we have a belief that it's just us two, but it's really your memories, your parents, whoever you dated. You stand to the altar with a whole bunch of people. The two of you make a vow and a commitment, but that includes everybody that you've had a close relationship with. So whether you were ever married or not, that's who you bring to the altar, and that's who you take with you. So that becomes critical in understanding that other people unintentionally are going to impact your relationship because you brought them with you. But you're bringing the memory of them, not what they are saying right now, but you brought that to the table. And whatever you bring to the table that's just what you have to deal with. I think more than anything else, if we could ever understand that marriage does involve your past, it involves all of the people, your trauma, and all of the other things. And the marital commitment doesn't make that different. It is what it is. And now you begin the long journey of deciding whether it's worth giving up whatever you have to so that one day you learn how to love each other. The love that we talk about that's up front, that doesn't last. The one that will last is when you both decide it's worth everything that you've gone through. You've got to go through something. And when you go through something, then you say, hey, this is worthwhile. This is what it's all about. Too often people divorce before they ever get to learn to love each other. It's the other stuff that they gotten tired of and used to. But the thing that I really would like to focus on the most is when you bring other people into your relationship, yes, you're going to do some comparisons, but there's going to be some stuff that's you're not thinking it through. You haven't thought about it at all. And the ex, if you have children, all blended families don't have children. Sometimes both people have been married and they have no children, and they still have to concern themselves about the in-laws. What happens when you go to an event and family reunion and you think you can, well, we didn't make it, but you still want to go, but somebody in the family doesn't want you there. Right. And then you think about that one partner may have come into the relationship with a child and they have no children between the two of them and they split. So then the child that had another biological parent got to know the step parent and then had to break with the step parent. So those dynamics there's multiple dynamics to blended families. To narrow it down a little bit, I had gone through divorce. I got married the first time I was 18, young guy, and that went through a divorce. And then my second wife died from cancer. I had no intentions of divorcing her. Just that's what happened when the cancer came along. But what each one of those families brought with it is themselves. So when CeCe and I got married, I still had young sons, I had young daughters, and then she and I have a daughter together. And all of that has to be blended in. All of the relationships from the past had to be blended in. And a key component of blended families is what is the role of the ex. So whatever the situation is that ex supportive? Are they trying to stay out of the way? Are they still trying to show that they've got the power over you? Are they trying to manipulate you? Are they trying to use the children? What is the status of the ex? Because some exes don't play games. They play to destroy your relationship. Because they want to let you know, I'm the one. You can't do this without me. They don't want you. They just want you to have who you have. Correct. So the ex becomes very, very important. Early on, Kelly, you had mentioned about children, and I'll talk about that a little later. But the ex is a factor that most people in their premarital counseling, even if they have it, don't talk about it enough. They have to be realistic, because when you're getting married, you don't want the spouse that you're getting ready to, the potential spouse, to know the impact that the other person has. Sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you think I'm moving on, but the first time you hear Al Green, or the first time you hear somebody who's your favorite record, all of a sudden you realize you haven't moved as far as you thought you had. Oh, right. So with that in mind, you realize you have a lot of work to do. So I talk a lot, but I'm trying to summarize to say the X factor, whatever role that X plays, that has to be dealt with up front, because they can be very supportive or they can be very destructive. But both people have to know the X is in that conversation. They're part of all of this, even in your bedroom, wherever they are, they have a role in there. And you have to be aware of the fact that they are there, and you want to put them in their proper place by being open and honest with each other about where you want to go and what you want and what you expect.